So with every interview, I ask people two questions, and this has its own section on YouTube. And actually, I think arguably it's the most valuable kind of bit. And basically, what's the best piece of advice you've ever had?
Keeping a positive mind frame, or mindset. That would probably be the most valuable piece. I actually done a property investment course, which you mentioned some property stuff earlier. But one of the big parts of it was the mindset. It's probably 85% mindset and 15% property. But it was about just not maybe completely avoiding, but trying to push away negativity. I don't listen to the news. If I walk in, the missus listening to the Making a Murder or whatever the hell it is that she's on Netflix with, I'll walk out the room. I won't watch it. I refuse to, because it just puts you in that negative thing. Somebody's working 9 till 5. They're working right now. They're going to finish at 5 o'clock. They're going to get in the car. The first thing they're going to listen to is the news that comes on at 5 o'clock. And if they're wanting to go home and set up a business and they've just spent 20 minutes in traffic listening to who murdered who or what's going on in the world, they're not going to go home with this really nice positive attitude.
There's a
I think
book that I've just read, and if we weren't live, sorry, I could go and get it anyway. It's by a guy called Trevor Moawad, and it's all about mindset, and it's really fascinating. I've done a review on it, but basically he basically talks about this with professional athletes and different people, that listening to both country and western, because it's very negative, and the news can genuinely, and it does, it's proven to affect your mental health. So I avoid a lot of it, by the same token. And I think it is true that people can suck you down, because one of the big things that gets me is some of my friends are very into computer games, Xbox, that kind of thing. And it's when on weekends, because the day I believe is Monday, but because I do stuff 7 days a week, it's Tuesday, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, but it's
I thought it was Wednesday.
But it's when you've got friends who want to take your time to do Xbox or whatever it is, go to the pub, and you're like, I kind of want to do this, which is your passion, which is this, and it's not easy, but it is important.
To be honest, I used to have a very, very close knit friendship group, and it was full of drama. And I took the decision to walk away from it. It was initially thrust. There was an issue. It kind of broke us all up. Not me directly, but with the others. And I kind of made the conscious decision not to proactively chase that friendship group, because I knew it was full of drama. And I swear within days I was happier. Just because this drama had gone, and the amount of, I deleted a family member off Facebook the other day purely on the basis of what they used to share. I'm that into it now, this whole positive attitude and this remove negativity, that kind of no one's safe from it. If you're sharing stuff which is going to put me in a bad mood, you are wiped, and that's it done, because
people
it kind
just
of
want a pity party. So
exactly.
Isn't it terrible? Lockdowns happened, etc. Just crack on with it. We're on.
Exactly.
I actually see this as I learned to live stream because the world locked down, and I was looking at where do I see trends working in the future that maybe not seen now, but fast forward 10 years, the ability to stream one to many globally is going to get more and more valuable. So if I can learn how to crack it now, it's a skill I want. But actually, it would never have happened if lockdown hadn't have happened. So the other question which I ask is that if you were to give advice to your younger self, what would it be?
You know what? I don't think I'd change anything.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I've thought about this. It would probably just be nice to people, and that's purely it. I think from my, when I was in school, there was, we'll call it character building and banter between friends. But when you think of it and think, there might have been a few bits that went a bit too far. As you did as kids, and you don't really click on them. And being nice to people is probably one of the biggest successes. And it goes back to this positivity, it goes back to this networking. But if you've got a networking group and you're not a positive person, you're not a nice person, nobody wants to deal with you. And I think just having that niceness around you and being the person that people want to be around sort of draws that through, and it probably, if I think about it, get rid of anyone who's poisonous, bad people within your life. and just attract those better people in a way. And I'd hate to say somebody's better than somebody else. I don't mean it in that way, but it's getting rid of that negativity and just welcoming all the positivity. I blocked. We just listen to this. I blocked my brother from texting me for 3 months due to the fact that we kept arguing. So I just went, and I just blocked him. It was simple as that. And then he unblocked him. He started texting him back. And he went, "Did you block me?" I went, "Yeah, you're annoying me." Flat out, he's like, "All right, fair enough. We don't argue anymore. He doesn't want to get blocked." But it's one of those things where I think if I was to go back and say, but equally, the flip side of it, if I wasn't a dick at certain points, then I wouldn't have that bit in the back of my head saying, "Be nice."
Yeah.
So I feel like if you make a mistake or if you do something you're not happy with, as long as you write it going forward, you don't do it again, you learn from it. It's not a mistake, it's a learning point. Mistakes only happen when you do it repeatedly. If you continuously make a mistake, then you're just being daft. But if you make a mistake and learn from it, you know what you've learned from it, you haven't necessarily made a mistake. That makes sense.
Yeah, because one of the things that I find is that, everyone goes through tough times and different things happen or whatever. And at the time it's horrible, but actually the fact that if you learn from it, later on, you can then deploy it to help other people. And so I'm exactly the same, as that I've had very many kind of ups and downs in my kind of career or life, whatever. But actually the losses give you the drive to want to work, to do well, because you know what it's like to have the rug pulled and you're like, what am I going to do? But then likewise, when you learn to get over the tough times and support people and, whatever, that then gives you the empathy to then be a better leader and help other people. So I'm the same.